I frequently get this particular question: will artificial intelligence replace blockchain developers? And whenever I hear this question, I always think in my mind, like, why artificial intelligence will ever replace blockchain developers? Because we can use artificial intelligence and blockchain together. We can use artificial intelligence and blockchain together to create a efficient or to create an efficient and trustful system. And in this video, we are going to explore this only. We are going to see how we can use artificial intelligence and blockchain together, and we will also understand that why artificial intelligence today requires blockchain. So we will be talking about that as well. And we will be creating a project in this particular video where we will be using artificial intelligence and blockchain together. And at the end of this video, I will be sharing with you the case studies where artificial intelligence and blockchains are being used together. Like IBM, IOTA, these are certain companies, not actually some companies, there are various companies actually who are using blockchain and artificial intelligence together. So let's start with this video. I hope you are excited for this video, and if you are, let me know in the comment section. So now let us understand what we are going to learn in this video. So we will start with what is an artificial intelligence. Then we will talk about how an artificial intelligence works, and it is very important to understand this so that we can understand how actually blockchain with artificial intelligence works. Okay, so that's why. Then we will create a project so that we can understand how we can use blockchain as well as AI together. And at the end of the day, we will talk about the different case studies. We will talk about real examples where actually blockchain and AI is being used in the industries. So we will take various examples for it, where actually not examples, various case studies for it, where actually blockchain and AI are being used together, so that you are confident that the things that I'm going to talk about are actually, are actually happening today, right? These are not the things that are going to happen in some 10 years or after 20 years. No, these are the things that are actually happening where we are actually using blockchain and AI. So let's start. Now, before moving further, let me talk about the prerequisite of this course. See, the theoretical part definitely do not need any kind of prerequisite, but the project part definitely will require a little bit knowledge of Node.js and a little bit knowledge of Python. So if you have basic understanding of Node.js and basic understanding of Python, you are good to go. And let's say if you do not have that, don't worry. I'm going to explain to each and everything line by line. But still, if you are confused, then I will recommend you to just have a basic idea of Node.js and Python from many blogs, or you can use ChatGPT for that as well. Okay. Now, what is artificial intelligence? Let us understand this. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are talking about the capability exhibited by a computer to perceive, learn, and solve problem with minimal probability of failure. Now, if you will read this definition is just like a child who is learning, right? When a child is born, how the child learns. So the child learns by perceiving, like by seeing what is actually going on in the environment. By learning, just like we make the child learn different things, right? How to eat, how to bathe, for example, how to solve problems. Let's say we provide them with some mathematical problems, and we make sure that the child is doing the minimal mistakes, right? And this is how the artificial intelligence also learns. Just like a child making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, and again making those mistakes, learning from those mistakes, and each and every iteration, it is making sure the number of mistakes it is doing are less and less. So this is how your artificial intelligence actually works, and this is what an artificial intelligence is: a computer which is acting like a human, right? Not complete human, but yeah, acting like a human. Now, these are the different landscape, like these are the different fields that you can see in artificial intelligence. Like you have this artificial intelligence, and the subset of this is machine learning. Then we have the subset as deep learning, and you can have so many different kind of learnings here. Like in deep learning, you will see that we have this artificial neural networks, like this is the study of your brain kind of a thing. And then we have this machine learning, supervised learning, unsupervised learning. I'm not going in depth of these things. I'm just showing you this, that okay, these are the different things that we have in artificial intelligence. So how an artificial intelligence works? So we have this artificial intelligence. Okay, now we have this code, you can say this model that we have are of artificial intelligence, and we train this artificial intelligence. As I said, right, artificial intelligence is just like a child. So you train a child, right, to do the daily chores or to do the daily tasks that the child receives, right? In the same way, we train the artificial intelligence, and once the training is done, we provide an input to this artificial intelligence, and based on this training, right? Based on this training, the quality of training that we have provided to this artificial intelligence, we receive the output. The more training we will do to the artificial intelligence, we will provide to the artificial intelligence, the more accurate output we are going to get. And definitely training the artificial intelligence is the most difficult task, because you need huge amount of data to train an artificial intelligence, and it takes a huge amount of time as well. And as I said, this is just like your child, where you are training the child. The more quality training you are going to give to the child, the more good task the child will do, right? And let me tell you, I'm not comparing that, okay, child and artificial intelligence are the same thing. So do not comment that below. I'm just giving you a, analogy so that you can understand the similarities between them. Now let's take an example. Like, let's say I want to train an AI I want to train an AI that, okay, this artificial intelligence will detect spam emails. And for the training, I'm providing this huge amount of data, where I'm going to provide this artificial intelligence with all the different varieties of a spam email, like how a spam email looks like. So a spam email generally has a poor grammar. So we are going to have this amount of, we are going to provide emails which have poor grammar. Then we will provide some spam emails which has this misleading subject line, overuse of capital letters, request for personal information. So we are going to provide all these kind of spam email data as a training data to this artificial intelligence, so that when this artificial intelligence is trained, and whenever this artificial intelligence receives an mail, right, a mail is received by this artificial intelligence, based on the training, this artificial intelligence will tell whether the mail is actually a spam email or not a spam email. Okay, so this is how we do train the artificial intelligence. Now let us discuss the problem that we have whenever we are actually training the artificial intelligence. Like in this particular case, right, we train the artificial intelligence with this spam emails. And definitely when we are training this artificial intelligence with these spam emails, then definitely these spam emails will also have the identity of a person, right? The identity who is trying to spam a particular, a mail address, right? So in this particular case, this is good, right? Okay, we are providing training data, and the training data consists of this identity attached with this training data, and we are providing the same data to the artificial intelligence. And this is a good thing to do in this particular approach, because identity is required so that the same person cannot spam some other email addresses, right? But the problem starts when we start providing the identity of a person, even though it is not required by the artificial intelligence. For example, like a lot of artificial intelligence today is being used in order to create medicines, because this medicine has this different chemistry. If you have studied chemistry, you have seen, right, we have different molecules attaching with different things. Like I'm not that expert in chemistry. The thing is, like, you need different elements combining together, and you require a different number of commutation and combination so that you can create a medicine, right? You can create an appropriate medicine. So you try a lot of hit and trial and you create a medicine. Okay, now in order to create this kind of medicine, artificial intelligence requires huge amount of data. And for that, artificial intelligence is given is the artificial intelligence is provided with this patient's data who are actually facing the problem, so that we can see the problems that the patients are facing, and we can create an appropriate medicine for that particular problem. And this is how it works, right? We understand the problem and we generate a solution for it. So patient's data is the problem, means the problem they are facing, right, in a disease, and we are actually using that particular data in order to create this medicine. Now this is a good thing to do, because now we will have good medicines. But the problem is with this approach is that when we are sharing this patient's data, we are not just revealing the problems the patients are facing, but we are also revealing the personal information of those patients. And this is a problematic thing, because all the important personal data related to the person, like for example, where the person lives, what is the mobile number of the person, what is the bank account number of this particular person, all these different things that are attached, all these different things are being attached to this patient data, even though it is not required, right? Because we just require the problems the patients are facing. We do not require the personal identity of a person, but we are sharing this with these third-party companies or these organizations who create medicines. And this is where the problem starts. This is where data start leaking. And this is not just one or two person. Huge amount of data is being provided to the AI so that they can train, and huge amount of data when it's provided to the AI, a lot of patients information are getting leaked in those series of steps. Now this is the data. Let me show you this particular article where you can see 14 biggest healthcare data breaches. And here you can see that the healthcare industry suffers some of the highest volumes of cyber attacks, and there are whispers a lot more to come. And here's the first incident where you can see that 5 million patients lose their data, and what the data was comprised with: the social security numbers, names, addresses, phone numbers, clinical notes, lab tests, each and everything. And this is a very dangerous thing, guys, let me tell you, because this is something which is being used by the insurance agencies so that they can manipulate you, they can target you. These information is being used by various hospitals so that they can target you. And this is a very, very scary things, because I'm just talking about the healthcare currently. You can think of this particular use in different financial institutions and different companies. Okay, I'm just telling you about the healthcare system for now, that how they are actually having the patient's data and they are using that patient data, right, in order to manipulate them. And this is for real. So many 4.3 million patients data, and you can see the list goes on. So these are the 14 biggest data breaches that has happened till now. And this was, and when these data breaches happens, each and everything related to the person, name, address, driving license number, insurance information, each and everything is being revealed and are being sold on the darknet. Now what is the solution to this problem? The solution to this problem is, instead of storing the data, right, instead of first of all storing the data on a centralized server, we should store the data on blockchain, first thing. Second thing is that when we store data on the blockchain, we do not require the identity of a person, right? We just require, okay, this is the person wallet address. For example, I'm just giving you an example here. And these are the diseases this person is facing, this particular wallet address is facing, and that's it. So the medical record will only consist of, okay, this is the wallet address. And since this we are using blockchain is totally immutable. So we can trust on blockchain. We do not have to worry about it. And the data will be there, which can be used by these third-party companies, these third-party organizations for creating of the medicines. And they will not be able to sell the data, patient's data, if they want, even they want to, because now the data will only have the important things that are actually required for creating this medicine. It will not have anything else here. Okay, and you can, because blockchain can have huge amount of data, you can share huge amount of data. And this is what the project that we are going to create. We will see like how we can use blockchain data in order to train an artificial intelligence. And now, before moving further to the project part where we are going to use blockchain and AI together, let me tell you like why blockchain and artificial intelligence are a deadly combination. First of all, AI provides you with efficiency, right? AI is doing each and everything for you, so it is time saving, it is very efficient. When it comes to blockchain, blockchain provides you trust. So now the data earlier which was being stored on the centralized server, or the data that was having a lot of identity linked to it, we do not have to do that. And when we combine these two different things, now not only we are getting the perfect solution, let's say for the medicine we are getting the perfect medicine, but we are also making sure that the users' data are not at stake. The users are not being manipulated just because they are sharing their data. Okay, so this is the power where blockchain and AI can come together and can create a powerful duo, and which we are going to see a lot in future. And definitely I'm going to show you the case studies where you will see that a lot of companies are using these powerful duo in order to create like they are using this in their supply chain management, they are using in their healthcare system, so they are being used everywhere. So let's jump to the project first of all, and then we will discuss the case studies where AI and blockchain are being used together. Okay, so the project that we are going to create, in that we will be predicting the miner rewards. So every block is actually mined by a miner, right? And what we are going to do is we are simply going to predict the reward that they will get in the future. And for that we are going to use Etherscan. Means I'm not going to use Etherscan in order, why I'm using Etherscan, the reason is very simple, because we have all the blockchain data available here, which is of free of cost, first of all. And second thing is that Etherscan actually provide us with the API so that we can easily fetch data from the blockchain. Now, instead of going each and every block and fetching the rewards right? And just going and checking, okay, what is the reward here, and just copy pasting it manually. Since we are developers, we will not do that. What we will do is we will go to Etherscan. We will simply sign up to Etherscan, and once you will sign up to Etherscan, you can go to this API keys section. Okay, and once you will go to this API key section, you will see a API. So I have generated this API already, and I'm going to delete it after this particular course. So don't try to copy my API key. Just generate this API key, and generation is very easy. Just click on this add button, and once you will click on this add button and just type some name to it and just create new API key, and you will have a new API key. And we will be using this API key so that we can fetch the different for the different timestamp, the different rewards the miners have got till now. So now I am in my Visual Studio Code, okay, and we are going to use this for coding it. So now what I will do is I will simply go on open. I will open folder, and I will create a new folder by the name of PAI or blockchain plus AI, something like that, and select folder. I will open my terminal by doing control plus backticks, okay, or you can definitely go to view and then you can click on terminal. So control plus backticks or terminal, your terminal will be open. Now once you have done that, simply do npm init, since we are going to use express.js, and --y. So this will create your package.json, and you can see that. And now we will create one file by the name of index.js, and make sure package.json also has the same name, index.js. So this is the main index.js, and we are using the index.js. Now in this we will be creating our server. So how we can create the server? Very simple. So first of all, we will have express, okay. Then we require important thing such as Axios. Definitely we haven't installed it yet. We will install it, don't worry. Require Axios so that we can communicate with the Etherscan AI in order to fetch the block number, in order to fetch the different timestamp that we have till now. Then we will be using ethers.js library, and for that I'm going to import ethers from the ethers.js library. Okay, so I will do require ethers. So we will require these three different things, these three packages, and we will now install it. So we will do npm install express, then we require Axios, and then we require ethers. And for ethers, I will be using 5th version of ethers, because sometimes I'm seeing that 6th version has a lot of stability issue sometimes. So I'm using the 5th version, but don't worry, we are not learning ethers here. We are just using it so that we can fetch the different informations from the blockchain. So let's simply, not actually for fetching here, we are going to use it for the conversion, for ethers conversion to A. So you will see that. Okay, so now we have the package.json with all the dependencies. Let's check. So I am using these dependencies version. Please see this, otherwise sometimes it happens that you might face some error. So just check that the dependencies that I'm using and you are using are the same or not. And if it is not same, and if you are getting the error, then just change your dependencies. Okay, now once we have done this, let's create the server by doing const. Let me close the terminal for now, we do not require it. App express, and in order to create the server, we will do simply app.listen, and we will use port number 3000, and then we will print a statement console.log. okay, where it is, server running at 3000. okay, so let's save this and check this. So in order to check this, we will simply do node index.js, and you can see server is running at 3000. okay, if you are facing some error, just check that you have done the same steps with like me. okay, and we can install one more dependency. okay, I'm splitting the terminal, and that dependency is .env, just to secure the API that we are using. okay, and I will create a .env file, and this .env file I will have my API key. So API key, so again I will copy my API key from here, and now I will paste it. Do not mention any comma or any semicolon, just simply do API key and then have the API key like that. Now once you have that, just simply do require .env.config. now this will give you your .env file, means not .env file, actually this will give you your API key, and we can fetch it simply by doing API key is equal to process.env.api key. So the same variable that we have mentioned in the .env, we are simply fetching it from there. okay, so now let's fetch the different data, since we are going to create an artificial intelligence in order to predict the miner reward in future. So I need the data, right? I need timestamp as well as the block rewards for the different timestamps. So this is what actually I require. Now I will simply create a block, means I will simply click a class, the name of block. I will do constructor, and inside this I will have the timestamp and the block reward, and then we will do this dot timestamp is equal to, I'm simply creating a class, right? Timestamp and this dot block reward is equal to block reward. Now once we have done that, we will simply create a function. So const fetch data function. Okay, let me just have this down here. Okay, now this will be an async function, and inside this we will have the logic in order to fetch the data from the blockchain. So I will have a try catch block so that if we have any error, we can simply console that error, console dot error. Now here I will create a array by the name of list of blocks, where we are going to store the information about the timestamp number as well as the block reward. Okay, now before filling this list of blocks, let me show you one thing, that is, let me show you how we are going to use the API, right? So API URL is equal to, so now I'm again on Etherscan, going to API documentation, and I'm now using the blocks, this API endpoint, and you can see that how we can fetch different information from Etherscan using their API. So let me show you. So I can click on this, and now you will see that the block number here is given as 21654, and it is fetching the information of that particular block number from here, right? That the block number is this, the timestamp of this particular block number is this is the block number, black miner, and block reward. All these things are fetching from this particular API URL, right? Now instead of this, I want to fetch, for example, for the first block, I will simply have 1, I will enter it, and now you will see, okay, this is no, this is good, right? So this is the block number, this is the timestamp, this is the block miner of that particular block number. So we will use the same thing in our code as well. So let's go back, and here I will paste this particular thing. Now what I'm pasting, let me show you. So I have simply pasted the API URL, and then this thing I have got it from the Etherscan as I shown you, and this is the block number which I am going to provide it dynamically, and this is the API key that we already have here, right? The API key. Let's create a block number, like just to tell you how it is actually working. For example, 1, and now I will simply do const response. Oh wait, so I'm now using the Axios, right? Let me zoom it. So I'm using Axios dot get, and then I'm simply fetching the information from API URL. Just as we saw in the browser, we are fetching the same thing in our Visual Studio Code in this particular response variable. And by this, if you will see, I'm just fetching one information, that is the block reward. Okay, I'm not fetching anything else, I'm just fetching the block reward. So this will give me the block reward for block number 1. So let me show you. So const, or not const actually, console dot log the response. Save this, let's check this. Let me again run this, and if everything will be working, you will see the reward for block number 1. Okay, the mistake that we have done is we haven't called this fetch data, right? So I'm now going to use some asynchronous code, and in this asynchronous code I will have async. Now I'm simply making sure that when we have actually called this fetch data function, then only we are starting the server, otherwise it will be of no use, right? So I will simply doing await fetch data. Okay, now once the data is fetched, then we will take this server and we will start this. Okay, and then if there is some error during any of the methods, like during this part or this part, we will simply we will throw the error doing console dot error. Now if this might be a new syntax to you if you are seeing it for the first time, but this simply means that first I am fetching the data and then I am starting my server. Okay, so that my server is not running for no reason. Only when we fetch the data, then we will start the server. Okay, and I am simply now calling this. Now let's run this once more. So node index.js, and you will see now I have the huge amount of data, right? And in this, you will see under the data section, we have the block number, we have the timestamp, we have this block miner, and this is the block reward. Now in order to fetch the block reward from this particular thing, what we can do is we can simply do response dot data, and inside data we have the result, right? And from the result I want to fetch the block reward, simply this. And now if I will do this once more, you will see it will only fetch the block reward. Now block reward definitely currently is if you will see is in way, right? Because we are getting the result in way. Let me convert this way into ethers so that it looks nice, right? It looks nice for that particular reason. Now what we can do is we can simply do a const. Okay, let me have this here and write this, yeah. Reward ether. So we will fetch, convert this to ethers. So I will use the utils from the ethers library, format ether, and then I will simply use the same thing inside this, and then I can simply paste the reward ether here. Now this will actually provide me the result in terms of ethers. So if I will run this once more, you will see now I am seeing 5 ether. So this was 5 ether actually, which was written in way, but now I am having in ether. Now in the same way I can fetch the timestamp. So I will do const, okay, const timestamp response dot data dot result, the same thing, and just fetching the timestamp. And now I can use the same information in order to create my object block. I will provide the timestamp, I will provide the reward ether. The only thing is that we will be doing this for not only one time, because we require huge amount of data in order to train the AI. So what I will be doing is I will be running a loop. Okay, I will be running a loop. So for, and in this I will have the block number instead of like this. Okay, and I will simply fetch the data from this from this block number. Definitely you can choose your block number of your choice. I'm just having some random block number here, and then I will simply do block number plus plus, and I will simply have this information inside this for loop. And definitely since we are running it for, okay, let me remove one of these. So now the block number will start from this and it will end at this. I think it will be around the data will be around 7 amount of data I'm going to receive, because let me tell you one more important thing. If you are using a huge number, right, like if you are having 0, or let's say if you are having a gap of let's say 100 or more, then it will take a huge amount of time in order to fetch data from etherscan, because we are using the free version, right? We are not using the paid version, so it will take a huge amount of time. So I'm just, for the demo purpose, I'm using 7, I'm just fetching the data of 7 blocks, that is 23 to 30. Okay, and we can simply push this information to the array that we have created, so that we have the information of all the blocks. And once this is done, I can show you this array. So console.log this list of blocks, and let me run this, and you can see it is taking a lot of time, right? Because we are fetching the data from etherscan and it will take some time. And once we will have the data, we can see, and you can see now that we have the data, right? So we have the block, so you can see how it is actually looking, because we are going to use this, right? So we have the block in this, inside this we have the timestamp, and we have the block reward. Again we have the timestamp, we have the block reward, and then the same way we have the 7 blocks. But definitely 7 blocks are not enough, because 7 blocks will not actually provide us with enough data to train the AI model. What we will be using is, like, what I already have is I have the list of a lot of blocks, and I will be using that. But for you, but I'm not going to do that here, because it will take a lot of time. Trust me, you can definitely try it at your home by having huge amount of data, but I have already have the data, so I'm just going to use it now. But what you can do is, let me tell you that as well. You can use actually this particular code, and this particular code is something which will actually provide you with an Excel sheet, or not actually an Excel sheet but a CSV sheet, because we will be using this CSV sheet in order to train the AI model. So how, like, do not have to learn this. Okay, you have to just remember, let's just copy paste it from the GitHub repo. Okay, and now I will simply call this from here. So what I'm doing is I'm simply exporting all the data to a CSV file. So the list of blocks to the CSV file, and the CSV file will be formed here. You will see that. Okay, let me do this console.log. We do not require that. And let me do one more thing, that is, let me import it here. And definitely in order to use it, I need to import I need to install it. So I will do npm install csv writer. Okay, now this is good. Let's run this. Let me show you how it is actually working. So now you can see, as soon as we have run this file, we have the csv file created successfully, and you can see this is the block data.csv file. And in this block data.csv file, we are, because I need this csv file for the training purpose, that's why I have created this csv file. So you have to just simply copy paste it from my github, and you will have all the information in this particular format. And then we will use this .csv file in order to, okay, I think there is some missing link to it. I think I'm not seeing the block reward, right? This is strange. It should have the block reward. Let me check. Okay, I made one mistake in the spelling part. Here I have taken block reward, but here I have made a mistake in the spelling. So it should be block reward. Now let us run this once more. Okay, and let me delete this .csv file. So now it is again running. We will wait for some time, and just imagine the data, if the data was so big, then it will take huge amount of time. So now if I will check the block.th, yeah, now you can see that block data.csv now have the timestamp as well as the block reward for that particular timestamp. So let's say this is for example 23 August 2022. So the block reward at 23 August 2022 is this amount. Definitely it is Unix timestamp, so you are seeing the timestamp in seconds. So this is the timestamp in seconds. So at 75 seconds, 87 seconds. So this is the block reward, how the block reward is actually changing. And now we are going to use the same data in order to predict the block rewards in future. So let's do that. Now it's time to use some artificial intelligence so that we can predict the miners reward in future for a given timestamp. So in order to do that, I'm using Google Colab because this is the perfect tool in order to write the machine learning code. And you can simply search for it by typing Google Colab. And then you can see the first link, that is at research.google.com. Just click on it. And once you will click on it, you will have this options. Just close all these things, just sign up to this. Okay, once you have signed up to this, you will have this kind of dashboard. Now once you have this kind of dashboard, what you need to do is you have to simply click on file, and you have to simply click on new notebook. Now this will provide you an interface where we will be writing our code, the machine learning code, the artificial intelligence code actually, in order to predict the miners reward. Now this thing that we are seeing on the screen is actually the code editor where we'll be writing the Python code. And let me show you that. Okay, first of all, let me write it as, let's say, reward prediction, so that we can remember the file name. So reward prediction. Now this is the thing where you will be writing all the code. Like for example, let's say if I will click on this text part, okay, and if I will just, and let me delete this one, and now let me do one thing. Let me import all the libraries. So this is the way we can use Google Colab in order to use Python code, so that we do not need to download or anything or something like that. We can simply use it. Okay, now once we have done that, simply click on plus code, and now we will write the code in order to get all the libraries. So we will be requiring various libraries such as pandas, and you will see why. We will be requiring numpy, okay, as np. You will understand why I'm writing this as np. Then we will be requiring matplotlib.pyplot. You will understand again why I'm doing this as plt. And at the end, we'll be requiring from sklearn, which is very important library, especially for machine learning people. Okay, and assemble import, and we will import this random forest. Basically this is the model we are using. In machine learning we have different kind of models, like we have linear regression model, and other models are also there. If you want to learn more about it, you can definitely learn it from this particular website, that is from IBM, and you can understand what are the different models if you want to go in depth of it. We will not be going in depth of this because we want to just see how we can use blockchain and artificial intelligence together, right? Then let me again have a new section. Okay, I will simply select text, and now what I will be doing is I will be simply importing the CSV file that we created, right? CSV file, and you can select this particular thing in order to have a larger text. Once you have done that, again select code. Now we will import it, and we will import it using the panda library. So I'm using pd, as you can see this pd, and then I'm importing this. So read csv, And in order to import it, I need to transfer it in my Google Colab. And for that, I will simply click on this. I will simply click on this and I will simply select the file. And here I have saved the file by the name of training data.csv. Okay, so I will simply open it. Okay, so it is saying that this is runtime file will be deleted when the runtime is terminated. So if you will close the browser, you will not see the file. So save it. Okay, and let me show you this. So if I will click on this, double click on this, you will see that I have around 319 entries. Okay, so I collected all these entries again using the etherscan API only. In the example I shown you like how you can actually extract around 7 blocks, but for this I have extracted around 319. Actually this number is also very less. For actually whenever you are doing this kind of prediction or something like that, you need huge amount of data. But for now, since we just want to explore how we can use AI and blockchain together, I'm just having 319 entries. Definitely you can increase the number of entries in your CSV file as well, just increasing the block number, right? So just increasing this block number to this means the starting to the end block, you can increase the number, and it will take some time because we are fetching everything from using etherscan, right? And it is a free API, so it will take some time. So once you have this, what we can do is we close this thing for now. We can simply print this here as well so that I can show you. And if you want to run this particular thing, okay, we haven't run this particular thing as well, right? So simply click on this play button and it will import all the libraries. Now you can see a green tick, and now run this. Just click on this, you will see, okay, there is some issue. Okay, I haven't provided the file name, right? The file name is training data.csv. Now let me run this. Okay, I made a mistake in the spelling, right? Let me now run this. So now it is running, right? So now we have 319 entries, but actually it does not look that good, right? Because it is looking a little bit boring because we have this in the form of a table. So instead of this, what we can do is we can again do one more thing. Let's do that. Let's do one more thing, that is let's plot a graph. Let's plot a graph. And again, if you want to increase the size, just click on this and it will increase the size. And all the machine learning folks out there, if I'm making some mistakes, so sorry for that. I'm also new to machine learning, so yeah, you can forget me for if I'm doing any kind of mistake. Okay, so in order to plot the graph, I will simply use ampersand matplotlib, okay, in line, and then I will simply plot x label. So this is the label that I am giving to the x-axis, and that is timestamp, okay, and it will be in seconds. And then the y label, it will be block reward, and it will be in ether, right? Because we have converted the y value into ether. And now we can simply plot this using df.timestamp, that the variable, in the variable we have saved the value, right? So we can simply use this variable df, and I can simply do df.timestamp df.block reward, and let's choose a color, let's say red, and let's use the marker as dot. You will understand what does it mean. Let me just run this, and now you can see that this is looking cool, right? This is looking so cool. So now we have these timestamp which is given here, which is in seconds, and this is the block reward that you can see in ethers. And you can see that a lot of values, right, are lying between 0 to 0.1 ether. And if you will check the training data as well, you will see that a lot of values are between 0 to 0.1, right? So it is 0.04 is less than 0.01, 0.0, not 0.01, but 0.1. It is also less than 0.1. So a lot of values are at this particular area, right? So this is the data that we have currently. Now it's time to use the model in order to, cannot there, but after this, now it's time to use the model, right? So we will be using random forest model, and definitely you can go for any other model according to your choice depending on the data set. So I think till now, whatever experience I have gained around of machine learning, so I think the random forest will be the best thing to do here. Like there are other models, as I said, you can go for linear model, linear regression model, and other different kind of models are there. But I think for now we can go for this model because the data that we have is like we do not have any, it's a very scattered kind of data, right? So a lot of randomization is there. So in that particular perspective, I'm choosing this. So let's again select the code, and here I will simply paste this particular code. Now this particular code will make sure that I'm actually using the correct model, and the correct model is random forest regressor, as you can see. And this is has to do with the estimation part, but I'm not going in depth of this. I'm also not a very good person in to tell you this all these things. But yes, I'm going to use this model, random forest regression model, and then with the help of this model I'm going to predict the reward. Now what we can do is we can simply again take one text, that is prediction. Okay, prediction, and then again let me code the prediction thing. So this model will actually help us in predicting the new timestamp, and how we can do that is simply using np.array. So I'm using the numpy library that I have imported, right? Np. So np.array, and inside this I will pass the value at the I will pass the timestamp at which I want to predict the block reward. So let's say I want to predict the timestamp for this particular value. Okay, I want to predict the block reward for this particular value, this timestamp, and then I will simply do predicted block reward model dot predict new timestamp. So I'm passing the new timestamp value, and this will actually help us in predicting the timestamp. Now what I can do is I can simply print the predicted timestamp. Let's say like this, predicted block reward, and inside this is basically an array. So I will choose the 0th index, and I can run this, and this will actually give us, okay, I made some mistake. Okay, I made the mistake here. I haven't run this particular code. So let me run this. Now I have the random forest regression model. Now let me run this. Okay, so now you can see that this is the predicted block reward for this particular timestamp. Okay, so this looks good, but let's say I want to plot this, because this is looking not that fancy. So let's say I want to do that. I will simply paste this particular code that we have also used in order to plot the graph right above. But this time the only thing is, now we are going to have the new timestamp value as well in the graph, right? In this you can see that we do not have any predicted timestamp value, but a predicted block reward basically. So but in this you will see a predicted block value as well, and in order to do that I will simply run this. And now if you will see, this is this thing that you are seeing in the blue area, right? This is the data that we have provided, and this red thing that you are seeing, right, this red thing, this is the predicted block reward for the miner. Yes, this is the predicted block reward for the miner for this particular timestamp. And you can do this for various timestamps. Like I have done this for only a single timestamp, but you can do this for various timestamps. And the best thing about this particular approach is, as you can see, I do not need to know about the miner. I do not need to know the identity of the miner. I do not need to know anything about the miner. I can simply use the blockchain which is available. And if you are using the open source blockchain, that's well and good. So we can simply go to the blockchain, we can simply take the data, and we can simply use it in order to train the artificial intelligence. And again, we do not need any identity. And I think this is the best use of artificial intelligence and blockchain. This is just one of the demo that I want to show you, that how we can use artificial intelligence and blockchain together. Blockchain will provide us with the data, and artificial intelligence we will be using it for predicting the value. Now let's do one thing. Let's check whether the model that we have used is actually predicting the right value or not. So for that, I have some extra data. This data, you can think of it as a data for which you can actually test your model, whether your model is actually predicting the right value or not. So as you can see that I have some extra data, like in the table that I have shown you, this training data, right? I have just 319 or 320 entries, right? Around this amount of entry I was having in this training data. So I have splitted actually I have this whole block data. This whole block data actually I have retrieved from the Etherscan, and then I splitted this data into 80-20. So 80% of the thing I'm using it for training, and 20% is just to test whether the training that we have provided is correct or not. So I can use any of these values, which is after 320, for just to check whether we are actually predicting the right value or not. If we are predicting the right value, then we have chosen the right model and we have everything in correct, like everything is in the correct place. Otherwise we need to require much amount of data, and otherwise we need to change the model as well. Again, I'm not an expert in machine learning. I'm again saying that just to tell you that, okay, we do this kind of a thing whenever we are training the artificial intelligence. Okay, so we split the data into 80-20. 80% is used for the training and 20% just to check whether the training was right or not. So this will be like a benchmark, you can think. So I have this copied this. Let's check. So for this particular timestamp, we have this as the block reward, right? Let's check this. So whether we are having the right value or not. So let's go this, and let's, instead of this value, I will simply have this value, and let's run this once more and let's check. So you can see the value that we are getting is 0.07, and the value that was given in this particular thing is 0.02. So definitely we are actually not correct here, because we are, I think we, the value that we are getting is plus 0.05 of this particular value. Let's do one thing, let's check it for another data. Let's say I want to check it for some random value. I'm just picking some random value, guys, just to check whether I am getting the right value or not. So let's say this one. So I'm taking this particular timestamp, okay, and let's check this. Okay, where it is, yeah, where it is. So let me just paste this, let me just run this, let's hope for the best. Okay, again the value that we are getting is 0.07. Okay, but if you will compare this to this, like if you will compare to this particular value, it is not that much high. It is 0.07, it is 0.06. We are close, but again we are not absolutely correct, but it's okay. That's not the point of this particular video. The point of this video was to tell you how we can use blockchain and AI together, and I hope you enjoyed this particular video. I hope you understood like how we can use machine learning and how we can use artificial intelligence together. Okay, so let's now discuss the different case studies, and I will share the code in the description of this video. And if you are a machine learning folk, please let me know if I have made some mistake in the machine learning part. Again, I am not an expert in this particular AI thing currently. Okay, so yeah. So now let's talk about the different application of blockchain and AI in real life. So blockchain and AI can be used together in various fields, like for example healthcare, and we have seen the example of it, right? When I explained you that how medical records can be secured using blockchain, and then we can use it with AI. Then we have supply chain management. We can use blockchain and AI in supply chain management. We will see that. Financial services, media, real estate. Like you can use blockchain and AI together in most of these fields, because we need efficiency, we need trust, and blockchain provides us with trust and AI provides us with efficiency. So we can use all like blockchain and AI in many of these fields. Okay. And I'm just listing out some of the fields. Definitely you can use it in other fields as well. Now let's talk about blockchain and AI in healthcare system. So there are various issues that healthcare systems are facing today. The first is the EMR, privacy and security. EMR stands for electrical medical report. So definitely all the data that we have on it, like on the databases or in the electrical form, first of all we need to make sure that they are private and secure. Second thing is drug formulation. As I told you in the example as well, that during the drug formulation we require data, and AI is needed in order for the various formulation and combination, so that we can create a good medicine. Then we can use blockchain and AI in the predictive healthcare, because in predictive healthcare we are actually predicting the problems that a patient might face in future. So this kind of thing can be done with AI, and again the data can be secured using blockchain. Now let us see some real case studies where actually the blockchain and AI concept is being used in healthcare. For example, IOTA and IBM both are working in the healthcare system and using blockchain AI together. Let me show you IOTA first of all. So you can see this is the website of IOTA, and if you will learn about them, you will see that they are using blockchain and AI together. Like they have their own blockchain and they're using it for the privacy, and they're using AI in order to predict the different diseases a particular person might have in future or something like that. So you can see that research data integrity, each and everything is given here, and they are doing good amount of work here. Okay, so here if you read, unlike paper records, digital records can easily be copied or changed. Through cryptography, IOTA technology secures this data on the tangle and puts control personal data back in the hands of the patient, making it the basis of trustable decision support system. So this is what IOTA is doing. If you talk about IBM is doing like a lot of things, like in every field, I will say. Like they are doing something in supply chain management, they are doing certain things in healthcare, certain things in financial systems. So they are doing each and everything with the use of blockchain and AI. And you can definitely watch this video. This is a very great video by Jerry Cuomo, who is actually the VP and CTO of IBM. And you can see the use cases of blockchain and AI that are given here. Okay, and they are using a lot of things when it comes to financial services, when it comes to life sciences, when it comes to your supply chain. So like IBM is doing some real stuff, and you must study about this so that you can get some ideas. And definitely, if you want to start your own startup, you can do that. And then we have supply chain management. Like if you will see supply chain management, it is a very complicated kind of a structure where you can see that there are a lot of retailers, there are a lot of suppliers who are connected with each other. So it's a very complicated system, due to which we have a lot of issues in supply chain management. First of all, the operational cost, as you can see, so as there are so many people involved here, so the operational cost is pretty much high, and AI can solve that. Second thing is security. Definitely, the data that you have, you need it to be secure. You do not want it to reveal to your competitor, so definitely you need security. And since in most of the cases supply chain management people are using normal databases, or they are using these papers, security is at stake. And then we have real time visibility. And in business, like in business, every second matters. You can earn billions amount of dollars in just some seconds if you know what is actually happening real time in your business. And this is what is missing currently in supply chain management. But blockchain and AI can work it together, because they will remove a lot of workforces, and like when a lot of people will be removed, like because this structure is pretty much complicated, right? There is no automation here. Then we will have an automated process so that we can monitor each and everything using AI, that what is actually happening in the supply chain management. And again, we have IBM, who is actually doing again great job in this supply chain management. So they have this supply chain suite, which is powered by IBM Watson. This is cloud-based digital business network, provides the real-time intelligence and actionable recommendations. So definitely you can watch this particular thing. And then OpenText is also doing the same thing. Like they are also having these supply chains, and they are using blockchain and AI together so that they have good supply chain management. And I have shared the links in the description of this video so that you can definitely go to their visit, like you can visit their website and you can definitely learn about it. And then we have financial services. So when we talk about financial services, again, we have bank issues, like bank can freeze our account, bank can get bankrupt, something like that. And again, we will be facing some issues there, which blockchain can solve. A lot of frauds are going on in the banks because a lot of people are involved, and they are manipulating the system, right? Again, AI can be useful here. And lack of process automation. A lot of banks, as you can see, whenever you do international transaction, it takes huge amount of time for the international transaction to get processed. It takes around 5 to 10 days, and even more than that if the countries are very much alien to each other, like they do not know much about each other, so it will take a lot of time. So again, what we can do is, again, we can use AI and blockchain together, just like Numer AI. So what they are doing is they are predicting the stock market. So how they are predicting it? Using artificial intelligence. They are also using blockchain in order to save the data. So again, you can see, again, they are like, I think they deal with hedge funds as well. So definitely you can learn about them. That again, you can see that we have use of AI and blockchain together use in a company, and definitely it will like save a lot of amount of money when you are using blockchain and AI together. And the last thing that I want to show you, which is this decentralized AI concept. I want you to know this particular concept as well, which Singularity is actually working on, where they are trying to involve AI from all over the world, and these AI, artificial intelligence, will work together in order to solve a particular problem. Now this is great because now we are following this decentralized AI concept, where there will be no centralized entity, okay, and they will be doing each and everything by their own. Now this is scary as well. I know that, like you are providing a goal to AI, and AI will do each and everything in order to complete that goal. But if we will look at the positive aspect of this is something good. So definitely you can read about it. This is also something great that is happening in the field of blockchain and AI, where AI is used in a decentralized way in order to solve a particular problem without involving any centralized entity. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have enjoyed this video, let me know in the comment section. If you have learned something from this video, then you can subscribe to this channel, because I'm regularly going to upload these types of videos. And if you have any doubts or any queries, you can message me on Instagram. I am highly active there, and you can also comment below this video, and I will be answering your query there as well. To meet you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.